Right, I need you guys to be completely honest. Where do the true horrors of Resident Evil 4 come from? Is it getting absolutely blasted by a chainsaw, getting decapitated, or having to listen to Ashley scream over and over again? Get captured over and over again. I'm gonna go with the Ashley part. That was pretty horrific. But Resident Evil 4 is one of my favourite horror games of all time. To get Dead Space Remake and the Resident Evil 4 Remake within a few months, and to have them both be as great as they are, it's good stuff, it's good stuff. Now the plan is going to be broken down into 5 individual parts, so let's get on with step 1 of the platinum, which is to just go through the game and enjoy it.
Right, here we are.
And I don't want to worry about looking up guides for collectibles or any other trophies, I just want to play through it and have fun. With our upgraded 4K version of Leon Kennedy ready to take on the world of zombies? Los Plagos? Zombies? I'm not... Zombies. We'll go with zombies.
Oh, hello mate.
I loved Leon Kennedy before Resident Evil 4 Remake, but I feel like this game has made me a Leon fanboy.
What was that?
What was that, man?
No fucking way.
I just made my way through the village, enjoying the scenery of... I mean, it looks all kind of rotten and decayed, but enjoying the scenery of Resident Evil 4. And we made our way to the iconic village area with the mindset of stealth is key. We're going to be stepping that fell apart very quickly, to be fair.
Oh. Shit, I thought it. I thought you could push stuff on these.
We had to, of course, deal with Chainsaw Man.
Yes.
It's funny looking back at like Resident Evil 4 and how ridiculous Chainsaw Man is, just a guy in like a bag. Whereas here he actually looks kind of terrifying, so I was not ready to take him on. But luckily we made it out of our first encounter alive.
Where's everyone going? Bingo.
Where's everyone going? Bingo?
Oh yeah. Where's everyone going? Bingo. God, oh mate, that's a broken leg right there.
And I think there are very few games where I was this into the game this early on. It took like 5 minutes and I was already into it. So I just continued to work my way through it, suplex some old grannies. Obviously, that's the Leon style. And we had to deal with some new enemies like this guy who just decided to dress up as a bull. I guess he was cosplaying as some of the livestock around the area. I mean, that didn't go too well. I managed to deal with him the second time though, and then I just worked on some contracts, as there are some little side missions that they've added into the game. Side missions, I use the term loosely, but there were some in the game, and we had to, of course, complete all of those for trophies. And at this point I was starting to get a hang of the mechanics, using my melee as much as I could and saving as much ammo as I could as well. And I was starting to become a master of the deflect button, and because of that I was able to get the first trophy of the game, which was knife basics. If you somehow make it through the whole game without getting that trophy, I mean, there must be someone. That'd be kind of impressive, actually. And pretty much straight after that, I got the trophy Nice One Stranger. Nice One Stranger. And that was for completing a request for the merchant. And of course Leon's a badass, so he had to practice some of his sniping skills as well. And then before long he was in another pickle. There's a lot of pickles Leon found himself in, and this was just another one of those. Rest in peace, Leon. You'll be remembered. But it's okay, because after that I managed to get the trophy My Preferred Piece. And there are 16 collectibles in the game, 1 per chapter. They're like these little toys. They make little squeaky sounds so you know when you're near them. And I wanted to try to find all of them without looking at a guide, so whether I did that or not, I mean, you're gonna have to find out. But I did manage to find the first one and got the trophy Revolt Against the Revolting. Bumped into some old friends.
Chainsaw. Yep. I don't know if I'm ready for you, mate. Jesus. Oh, mate. No!
That's a pretty sad way to go, Leon. I'm not going to lie to you. And as Leon's a good guy, obviously he had to help out the local wolves, I guess.
Take care of yourself, buddy.
Oh, yeah.
Just something Leon likes to do. But of course it's Leon, so he saved a wolf 1 hour, and then the next hour he's blasted him to death as well. Now when you're dealing with the merchant, he has, in certain areas, shooting galleries that you can take part in as well. And there are a few trophies attached to these, like earning S rank in all of them, so I just thought I'd get on with those whenever I kind of came across them. As of right now, I've got the trophy Amateur Shooter for completing a game at the shooting range. And then came our first boss of the game, the iconic, I used to call him the Lake Worm, I think. When I was a kid, when I played this in, what was it, 2005, so I would have been 10. I was playing this when I was 10. I don't know if that was a good idea, but I used to call it the Lake Worm, so we're going to stick with that. This was a fun boss, and I managed to get the trophy Harpoon Hurler for killing the Lake Worm. And then not too long after that, we had to take on the second boss of the game. Dealing with lake worms and giants, saving wolves, killing guys with chainsaws is a normal day on the job for Leon. And this went about as well as you'd expect it to go.
You got worms too?
Yo,
And then we encountered the biggest enemy in the game, the biggest problem that's going to stop me from getting this platinum, because I'm just going to want to rage quit every 5 seconds. That problem was, of course, Ashley. But the second run of this gave me a smile on my face as we got the trophy Shield Your Eyes. That was for defeating 3 enemies at once with a flash grenade. But we came across Louise and we had to help defend this cabin with him and just hold off until Ashley could open a door, which somehow took her about 20 minutes. But we managed to make it out there, and then, oh no, Ashley's been caught yet again. But this time it's okay because we got the trophy Talk About Near-Death Experience. And that's for rescuing Ashley as she's being carried away by the enemy. Again, if you do not get this trophy somehow, mind-blowing. She gets captured 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, I'd say about 10 times every 2 minutes. Yeah, it's somewhere around. It's just an estimate. Side note, I love how extra Leon is at all times. If there's like a situation and Leon thinks to himself, I could like handle this like a normal human being, or I could be super extra about it, he's gonna pick the super extra option.
I am flattered, but I'm a one-lady type of guy.
one lady type of guy.
So absolutely obliterated these Chainsaw Sisters. Continued through the game, Ashley flopping everywhere every 2 seconds and getting me in trouble, of course.
Oh my god. Oh, it's gonna be a pain in the arse.
We very quickly ran into our next boss of the game, the Big Cheese. With Leon's skills, I was able to kill him on the first attempt and got the trophy Grilled Big Cheese.
Grilled Big Cheese.
And then it was onto the castle area of the game. with Leon's sniping skills on point.
All right.
And their catapult skills on point. And Ashley's getting caught skills on point. We managed to slowly make our way through the castle and got our next trophy of the game, which was Overkill. I think it would have been cool actually if you could have carried the cannon around with you. I could imagine a world where Leon uses that cannon as a weapon at all times. Or maybe Chris, actually. Chris could definitely do that. My guy's punching boulders. You think he can't pick up a cannon. And then came our next big threat of the game, Mr. Blind Guy. I don't know what's this guy called. And this guy might look very spooky, but don't be fooled. He's blind. He just ran into a wall constantly. And like, there's blind, and then there's blind. Like, my guy was very blind. He was just sprinting at walls. Then I managed to find the second wind-up toy.
Not bad, right? Ashley!
And this game had it all. We had giants on castles throwing rocks at Leon. That's where we're at with this game, and I love it. And then we started doing one of the more creepier parts of the game, which was playing as Ashley. And because she's obviously bloody useless at everything she does, you just had to run away from everything. Which makes sense, to be honest. I'm pretty sure if I ran into these things, I'd be running in the opposite direction as well. So maybe I'm as useless as Ashley. Yeah, I'm definitely as useless as Ashley. Well, fair play, Ashley. I guess you're very good at running away from things. So we managed to make our way through that section. And then got the trophy A Masterpiece, and that's for getting the exclusive upgrade for a weapon. We were back as Leon, so I just took in some of the scenery, made our way through the castle, kicked down some walls. Again, it's not quite like kicking down boulders, but we'll kick down walls, I guess. And then, oh no, it's another enemy that Leon has to deal with. I'm going to call this guy, robot-looking robot claw, the claw, robot, cyborg man. Kind of looks like a scorpion. Yeah, and this guy was no problem for Leon. You think anyone's going to be a problem for Leon? No. So we got the trophy Wave Goodbye Right Hand, and that was for defeating the Verdugo. I ain't calling it that. I ain't calling it Verdugo. It's Cyborg's, whatever I said earlier. That's what he's called. And then it was on to making our way through the mines with Louise. We had Leon being crushed by rocks.
Oh, great.
And then we had another encounter with a giant, but this time there were two of them. And you think that went well for him? No, Leon was chopping up their penis tentacles.
No.
And then it was on to an Alton Towers ride. If you enjoyed the runaway minecart at Alton Towers or whatever it's called, or the Sonic Spinball, or 13's a good ride actually. What other rides do Alton Towers have? Nemesis is pretty cool, Smiler's pretty cool, Rita's pretty cool, but none of them are as cool as the minecart section with Louise and Leon. Look at how much fun our boys are having. They're loving life.
Yeah, there it is.
And in classic Resident Evil fashion, of course, they managed to survive this somehow. Oh no, wait, Louise didn't survive it. He's actually dead. It looks cool, but they're just kind of like tapping each other's arms. Professionals, though. They are professionals.
Oh, yeah.
Leon, of course, got absolutely bullied by Krauser. Took in some more of the sights, and then it was on to our next boss of the game. This... I'm going to call it Mutant Octopus Penis, because I hated that this boss was the worst. But on this run it wasn't too bad, so I was able to get the trophy No Thanks Bro. And then we arrived at our third and final area of the game, which was the island. And this got about as chaotic as you'd expect it to for Leon. But it's fine, because after chaos ensued, I was able to get the trophy Astute Appraiser, and that's for selling a single piece of treasure for at least 100,000. And then, bro, it's Resident Evil, so we had our creepy horror vibe with Ashley, and now we gotta get our creepy horror vibe with Leon. Yeah, I don't think I've pressed pause so quickly on a game.
What kind of experiments are they doing here?
So Leon, of course, was trembling in his boots, as he never does, but he was trembling in his boots, so I thought I'd reward him with a bit of a shooting gallery, and he got some more trophies like trick shots, and that's for shooting through and destroying 5 targets at the shooting range with a single shot. And I didn't really have much trouble trying to get S on all the shooting ranges. I think the last one was a little bit tricky, but I was able to get it after a few tries. And for that I got the gold trophy, Real Deadeye, for getting S rank on all the shooting range challenges.
Speaker for our Lord.
Tell someone who gives a shit.
Continued through more of the story, had a great 1v1 fight with Krauser, but it was time for this little weasel to get gone because he was becoming a bit of a nuisance, to be honest. And got the trophy, You Used to Be a Good Guy. And then it was on to our final couple of chapters of the game, with the help of Mike. Don't forget Mike, the hidden hero of Resident Evil 4. But also not really, but also kind of. Managed to find some more wind-up dolls.
Ada.
And then it was on to our final area of the game.
Ada.
By the way, Ada, best character in Resident Evil franchise? Yes. I would argue yes. But Ada and Leon, iconic duo. So together we tackled the final boss of the game. And it's one of those situations where it's like, I wonder where we have to shoot the final boss. Why the final boss is like, you know what? If I'm going to be a mutant in Resident Evil, I'm going to cover up my weak spots. Get like a shield here. Cover your eye up with a shield. Something like that. Just some advice I'm kind of throwing out to them, to be honest. But no, because his weak spots were so bloody obvious, we had no problem taking down this guy.
Ah, yes.
And again, with the help of Ada, we were able to get the trophy Your Small Time, and that's for defeating Osmond Sadler, arguably the easiest boss in the game. Yes, probably easier than the Lake Worm. And then time was of the essence, so of course me and Ashley had to escape the island. Somehow she managed to keep up and not trip over a rock, as she loves to do. Hopped on a jet ski and in classic Resident Evil fashion made the most dramatic escape of all time. And for that we got the trophy Promising Agent, and that was for completing the main story on standard mode or higher. But now it's time to get onto the harder runs of the game. So run 2, I had to go through the entire game again, and I thought I'd go for any random trophies that I might have missed on the first run. Also on top of that, there were 2 trophies to go through the game using only your pistol and your knife. Also with the addition of going for a trophy where you had to go through the entire game without using a single healing item. So kind of making things a little bit difficult for myself, but I thought, why not? The first run was fun. Now let's stress myself into tears. So that's what we did. So I loaded up a new game and tried to take on the entire game using only my pistol. And it was a good thing I had the practice in from the first run because I was popping headshots left, right and centre. If we're being completely honest, the biggest threat to Leon at this point was cattle.
Oh, come on, I'm bullied by a cow.
The hardest part of this run was not being able to use heals, to be honest, because I got to a point where I could only take on 1 hit. But it's fine, we've had harder challenges, so I made sure to keep an eye out for more wind-up dolls.
In the rafters.
Had to take on the giant with a pistol, which was doing nothing, so we had to get the help of the wolf that we helped save. Found even more wind-up dolls. Had Ashley getting absolutely annihilated. What an absolute shocker to no one.
Oh, Jesus.
Found even more of the wind-up dolls. And then we were back at the castle, which went as horribly as you'd expect it to. I had to take down this enemy using only my knife, which isn't the best of ideas when this guy literally has Wolverine blades for literal arms.
Oh, fall off.
But but eventually managed to get the trophy, never heard it coming, and that's for defeating Blind Boy using only knives. And would you look at that, found some more wind-up dolls as well.
Nighty-night, knights.
And then you know those chainsaw guys that are so terrifying to look at? Well, this one got absolutely bullied. It got to a point where I actually started to feel a little bit bad. And then that fun minecart section that we had earlier, well, we've got to do it again, but we've got to go through the entire section without being hit. After about 4 or 5 attempts, I managed to get through it. As you were able to just reload the checkpoint, it didn't take off too much time. So I was able to get the trophy, Hope You Like Thrill Rides. Found another wind-up doll, 1 remaining, and then it was on to attempting another trophy which I missed on the first run, which was to go through this entire lift section without an enemy jumping on. Which sounds easy, and it was easy actually, once you know where they're coming from. And for that I got the trophy Capacity Compliance. And then there are 3 separate trophies for getting every treasure in each area, so the village, the castle and the island. And I did unfortunately miss a treasure in the village, so I wasn't able to get that trophy, but I did get the trophy Raider for getting every treasure in the castle. And then this was the moment. The moment tears ran down my face, as they tend to do. I thought during this run I could go through and get every side mission as well, as there is a trophy to complete every contract for the merchant. But there is a contract where you have to throw an egg at an art piece, and I thought I'd just do that and didn't think much of it. But then later realised that throwing an egg counts as using a weapon that isn't a pistol or a knife.
Apparently I've used a weapon other than the pistol. What? An egg?
So I thought, oh, okay, I'm going to have to leave the contracts for another run and just go back and try and finish off my pistol and knife only run. So that was a bit of an annoyance. And then I started to have some trouble in the later areas just because I had so little health and I wasn't able to use any healing items. Slowly but surely though, I managed to make my way through the rest of the game. Went ahead and bought the infinite rocket launcher for one of my later runs.
Well now, time to cause some mayhem.
And then came across the final treasure on the island, which gave me the trophy Burglar. And with my 0.5% health remaining and like 3 bullets, I went on to take the final boss of the game with just my pistol. And I managed to do it because, again, he's not the hardest boss in the game, so it's just kind of anticlimactic with that boss, to be honest. And came across the final wind-up doll in the game, which gave me the trophy Revolution Wind-Up. And then it was on to another trophy that I missed in the initial run, which was to go through the entire jet ski section of the game, but without losing any health. And that was run 2 of the game complete, which gave me the trophy Frugalist, and that was for going through the entire game without using a single healing item. And then the trophy Minimalist, which was going through the entire game using only the pistol and the knife. And then before going on to my next run, I did want to clean up 2 other trophies that I missed out on. So I went back to take on these creepy mutant demon things, but got the trophy 2 Bugs 1 Stone. And that was for taking out 2 of the little parasite things with a single bullet, which again wasn't too hard. They were kind of lined up nicely like that. Look how cool my eye is. And then this time I was actually able to go back and finish off all the contracts because I didn't have to worry about using any other weapons. Damn that egg. And got the trophy Jack of all trades. Before jumping into the next one, I made sure to buy the only model that actually mattered and the only concept art that actually mattered.
You don't seem surprised. You don't seem surprised.
And then it was on to step 3 of the game, which honestly might have been the hardest step in the entire Platinum run through. And that's to go through the game on standard mode. Okay, doesn't sound too bad. I've got to get an S plus rank, so I've got to do it in under 5 hours. Okay, we can do that. Oh, but then I also decided to burden myself even more, as there's a trophy to go through the entire game without speaking to the merchant once, and I thought I'd do that on this run. It started off and I was like, okay, this isn't too bad. Obviously, I'm not going to have to go through the entire game without being able to upgrade a single weapon. And things were fine until I got to the castle, and I started to realise how weak my weapons actually were. Oh, guys. This section of the game gave me a brain hemorrhage.
I'll cover you. Don't stop.
My weapons were doing no damage. She was flopping everywhere just because she wanted to annoy me, I guess.
Get hermit from mode.
Enemies here, this is about the amount of damage my pistol bullets were doing. That is an accurate representation of how this run through kind of was going for me. And then on top of that, I had to finish the game in under 5 hours anyway, so I just had to run past most of the enemies. Oh, and then you want another brain hemorrhage? Go for it. Take on this boss using nothing, basically. Using air. Leon might as well have been... But it's okay, I managed to get the trophy. You talk too much. Which I've kind of heard that actually most of my YouTube life. I think ever since I started uploading videos around 10 years ago, that's a comment I receive at least once a day. You talk too much. So. Oh, what's the trophy for? That was for throwing a grenade into Ramon Salazar's mouth. After about 40-50 minutes of trying to take on this boss, I did manage to kill him eventually. And then just speed ran through the rest of the game, dodging enemies left, right and centre. Obviously, Ashley had to stop that speed run at every chance she was able to do so. That one's kind of my fault. I did just shoot Ashley in the face, which happened a lot actually. I did end up shooting Ashley just because she was wiggling around everywhere like a literal worm. Which I respect. I actually kind of respect that Ashley did that. That's the one moment in this entire game where I was like, you know what, Ashley? Fair play. Of course it's Resident Evil, so you have to get blown up by RPGs every now and again. And then again, we had to take on the final boss of the game with my pistol. That pea shooter is basically a better word for it. And again, he's the easiest boss in the world, so we were able to get that. And then I got the trophy Sprinter for completing the game in under 8 hours. Then the trophy Silent Stranger for going through the entire game without speaking to the merchant once. And then finally, Mission Accomplished S+ for going through standard mode in under 5 hours. And then it was time for our... What are we on? Fourth run of the game. Step 4 of the game. I had to go through the game on hardcore mode this time and finish it in under 5 hours and a half. But luckily I was able to go through this game and upgrade the weapons as much as I wanted. So I dressed Leon up like Jesse Pinkman and got a move on. And then this room was giving me a bit of grief yet again. I accidentally came across a glitch in the game where every enemy just stayed still. It's like they were in a situation where they're like, if I don't move, maybe Leon won't see me. But he did, and I managed to get through this section with actually no problems.
I think it's glitched.
As retaliation, this blind enemy absolutely smacked Leon about. Oh, not Leon. Jesse Pinkman. Jesse Kennedy. Or Leon Pinkman. We'll go with that. And honestly, guys, I wish I could sit here and go to you guys, oh, it's so hard. Look at all these times I struggled and was on the verge of tears during this run. This was easy peasy, lemon squeezy, especially after what we've just been through. I was able to upgrade every weapon I want, so I managed to get to the final boss of the game yet again. Completed the game in 4 hours 45 minutes, which is all good for me because we got the trophy Proficient Agent for completing the main story on hardcore mode or higher, and then S+ rank Investigator for completing the main story on hardcore mode but with an S+ rank. And then it was time for our final run of the game, run 5, which was to go through the game on professional mode. So I dressed Leon up like a chicken because Leon loves his chickens, I guess. And again, was it the hardest run? Was professional mode getting me down and beaten and trodden on? No, actually it wasn't. You want to know why? Because of a small little detail which they added to the game. That small little detail is called Infinite Rocket Launcher. But here's the boss of the game. Maybe he's hard. No, he was easy.
What do we do?
Oh, but we've got this boss of the game. Maybe he was... No, he was easy as well. Oh, look at that. I managed to get the final treasure of the village finally. I messed that up about 3 other times in other runs, but I managed to get it and got the trophy Bandit. Worked my way through the castle, came across the blind enemy. Maybe he'll be a... No, he wasn't a problem, actually. He just died very quickly, actually.
Nighty-night. Knights.
Oh my god, 2 giants. Maybe... No. Oh my god, it's Ramon Salazar. No.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it's Chicken. I was trying to say Chicken Leon, and it just kind of came into Chicken. That's the official name for him right there, Chicken. And typically you say slowly but surely. I made my way through the... No. Fast, smooth, and quick. Got through the game. But then came Jack Krauser. Maybe he'll be a bit of a challenge, but no. And I'm not even going to sit here and be like, oh, maybe the last boss was a challenge. We know the last boss wasn't a challenge. It's the final boss of the game, and he has eyes all over him that you have to shoot. So we obliterated him in about 3 seconds. And then it was time to take Ashley off into the sunset and say goodbye to professional mode and get the trophy Peerless Agent for completing the main story on professional mode. And then it was on to the final trophy of the game, which was to obtain all weapons. I had to wait until after professional mode to get this because you get a weapon for completing professional mode, so I was only able to do it at this point anyway. I had every other weapon in storage. I wasn't aware that you had to have every weapon in your briefcase at some point in the game, so I did that with the primal knife and got the trophy Gun Fanatic for obtaining all weapons.
Put it in your inventory.
And of course, Gun Fanatic was the final trophy in the game, so next along came the platinum for the game, because boredom kills me. So as for the gameplay of Resident Evil 4, I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. The only thing that stops it being a 10 out of 10 for me is Ashley. I get that it's an escort mission game, you can't really change that, but for me it just got very annoying. And I think the one boss, Ramon Salazar, like again, I've cut out a lot of the footage with how many times I actually died in that arena, but that was just frustrating. Despite those little 2 things, I still think it's a 9 out of 10. I think it's an incredible experience, a lot of fun. As for the story, I'd go a 7 out of 10. I think no one really plays Resident Evil for the story. I think the stories are usually good. I don't think they're anything incredible, so it's a 7 out of 10 for me with the story. Leon, President's daughter's been kidnapped. Leon, go save President's daughter. Also, we have Ada in the game, so that bumps it up. As for the world of Resident Evil, the horror aspect of it, it's absolutely a 10 out of 10. The visuals are amazing, whether it's the village, the castle, or the island. I think it always looked on point, so I really enjoyed the exploration. As for the platinum difficulty, I'd probably go like a 5 out of 10. I think I made it harder on myself in certain runs, like going for certain runs without talking to the merchant when I should have been doing that on other runs. But honestly, when you get to like professional mode, you can use an infinite rocket launcher anyway, so the platinum's as hard as you want it to be. And I'd say for myself, I made it like a 5 out of 10. So overall, I'd probably give Resident Evil 4 Remake a 9 out of 10. But there we go, guys. That is platinum number 218. Thank you so much for watching the video. Please leave suggestions for any other platinums that you might want me to go through in future videos. And I'll see you next time for whatever platinum that might be. I'm of course going to be doing the new Star Wars game when that comes out, so keep a lookout. Until then, take care. Peace.